libro. Laging handang magkwento sa inyo. Ingatan niyo ako, alagaan niyo ako. Ako ang kaibigang libro. Huwag tatapakan, huwag uupuan, huwag pupunitin ang mga pahina. Ako ang kaibigang libro. Laging handang magkwento sa inyo. Ingatan niyo ako, alagaan niyo ako. Ako ang kaibigang libro.
Magandang araw! Babasahin ko sa inyo ang kwentong Si Pilandok, ang Bantay ng Kalikasan na muling isinalaysay ni Virgilio S. Almario at iginuhit ni Cora Dandan Albano. Makinig na mabuti. Galit na galit si Dato Usman. Nagsumbong kasi ang kaniyang mga alagad na nakatira daw ngayon si Pilandok sa gubat at binabawal ang sinuman sa pagputol ng mga punong kahoy kapag wala siyang pahintulot. Ano siya? Sigaw ni Dato Usman. Sino ang nagbigay sa kanya ng kapangyarihan para maging bantay gubat? Inutusan noon din si Sabandar, ang matapang at mabagsik na si Sabandar, para hulihin si Pilandok. Nakarating kay Pilandok ang utos ni Dato Usman kay Sabandar. Mabilis siyang nag-isip. Tinakpan niya ng panyo ang kaliwang mata, saka naupo sa lilim ng sanga na may natutulog na malaking sawa. At dumating ang mandirigma ng dato. Pagkakita kay Pilandok, ay agad na nagtanong, "Ikaw ba si Pilandok?" "Opo," mahinahong sagot ni Pilandok. "Ngunit marami po kaming Pilandok dito. Ako po si Pilandok na bulag ang isang mata. Baka ang hinahanap ninyo ay dalawa ang mata." "Kung ganun," asik ni Sabandar, "bakit ka nakaupo sa lilim na ito?" "Bantay po kasi ako," sagot ni Pilandok, "ng maharlikang sinturon." At itinuro ang natutulog na sawa sa itaas. "Magagalit ang sultan ng gubat kapag iniwan ko ang maharlikang sinturon." Kumislap ang mata ni Sabandar pagtingin sa sawang nakapulupot sa sanga. "Akin na ngayon ang maharlikang sinturon." Nasasakim na wika niya at kinuha ang sawa para isuot sa kaniyang baywang. "Huwag po! Huwag po!" tutol ni Pilandok. "Papatayin po ako ng sultan ng gubat kapag nawala ang maharlikang sinturon." Ngunit tumawa lamang si Sabandar sa pagmamakaawa kunwa ni Pilandok. Maya-maya, biglang nagising ang sawa at nilingkis ang mandirigma. Nadurog ang buto ni Sabandar sa lingkis ng maharlikang sinturon. Lalong napuot si Dato Usman. "Magsama ka ng mga kawal!" utos ng dato sa magilas na si Sumuson. "Patayin ninyo ang bantay gubat!" Dinatna ni na Sumuson si Pilandok sa ilalim ng isang punong kahoy. Muli, ipinagkaila ni Pilandok na siya ang Pilandok na kaaway ng dato. "Bakit ka narito?" usisa ni Sumuson. "Bantay kasi ako," sagot ni Pilandok, ng maharlikang gong ng sultan ng gubat. At itinuro ang malaking pukyutan. "Ano ang maharlikang gong?" sabik na tanong na magilas na si Sumuson. "Pag pinalo ito," paliwanag ni Pilandok, "lalabas ang mga magandang alipin at ibibigay sa iyo ang lahat ng gusto mo." Ha? Nanlaki ang mga mata ni Sumuson at inagaw kay Pilandok ang pamalo ng gong. Naku, wag po! Samo ni Pilandok. Magagalit pa ang sultan ng gubat. Papatayin po ako pag may gumamit ng kaniyang maharlikang gong. Eh, bakit ka pahuhuli sa kanya? Payo ni Sumuson. Magtago ka! Ngunit ayaw pa rin pumayag ni Pilandok. Hindi niya binitawan ang pamalo ng gong. Sige, sa wakas, alok ni Sumusun. Narito ang sansupot na salapi, kapalit ng pamalo ng mahalikang gong. Noon lamang pumayag si Pilandok at dali-daling tumakbo paalis. Agad pinalo ni Sumuson ang gong. Tulad ng dapat asahan, nabiyak ang malaking pukyutan at naglabasan ng 1,000 galit na pukyot na maga ang katawan ni na Sumuson sa masasakit na kagat ng 1,000 pukyot.
Ako ang kaibigang libro, laging handang magkwento sa inyo. Ingatan niyo ako, alagaan niyo ako. Ako ang kaibigang libro. Huwag tatapakan, huwag uupuan, huwag pupunitin ang mga pahina. Ako ang kaibigang libro, laging handang magkwento sa inyo. Ingatan niyo ako, alagaan niyo ako. Ako ang kaibigang libro.
Ang punong niyog. Sa lahat ng punong kahoy, ang niyog ang may pinakamaraming pinagagamitan. Lahat ng bahagi ng punong ito ay mahalaga. Mahusay na panggatong ang katawan nito. Ang mga dahon ay nagagawang basket, walis, at mga kagamitang pangbubong. Ang bunga ang pinakamahalagang bahagi nito. Ang balat ng bunga ay nagagawang iskoba, bunot, at mga kutson. Ang bao ang nagagawang mga alkansya, botons, florera, at laruan. Mula naman sa laman, ang bunga maaaring makakuha ng langis at makagawa ng candy at gamot. Nanggagaling din sa laman nito ang mga sangkop na magamit para sa pabango, sabon, sorbetes, ulam at cake.
kaibigang libro, laging handang magkwento sa inyo. Ingatan niyo ako, alagaan niyo ako. Ako ang kaibigang libro. Huwag tatapakan, huwag uupuan, huwag pupunitin ang mga pahina. Ako ang kaibigang libro, laging handang magkwento sa inyo. Ingatan niyo ako, alagaan niyo ako. Ako ang kaibigang libro.
Good day, everyone. Hello, kids. Today, we will be witnessing a beautiful story about the legend of rubber trees. The Crying Trees is a wonderful story about the legend of Rubber Tree's great-grandfather tree. The oldest tree of all showed love, courage, and hope to save Father Tree, Mother Tree, and all the little trees in the treeland. Great-grandfather Tree sacrificed himself to save all the trees and gave up his life so the trees could live forever. What happens to the rest of the trees when Great-grandfather Tree is taken by the man? Before we dig in, let us know more the meaning of these words. What is a mustache? What does protruding eyes mean? Have you ever heard of the word latex? Keep these words in mind because we will encounter these words as we go on in our story. This is how the story goes. In the beginning of time, in the province of Cotabato, there was a place well known for having so many trees. They called this place the Treeland. The trees here were living together as one happy, contented family. He is the great-grandfather tree, the oldest tree of all, was the head of the big family. He has lived 1,000 years. Everyone in the family, the mother tree, father tree, and the little trees loved and respected him. The little trees always played, laughed, and talked to each other. They loved to listen to the stories told by Great-grandfather Tree day and night. All the birds came and sang melodies for the family. The honeybees, butterflies, fireflies, and moths decorated their branches and leaves. Even the small waterfall and the stream nearby were always giggling while they were listening to the funny stories of Great-grandfather Tree. One day, while the little trees were playing around, they saw a man with a thick mustache. He was walking slowly, looking at them with his round, protruding eyes. He was observing and measuring the big trees.
Very fine trees, beautiful giant trees,
He said. The trees could not understand such gesture.
What is he doing?
One of the little trees asked with eyes full of confusion.
Why is he touching our mother and father trees?
All the small trees were so bewildered,
Don't worry,
said Great-grandfather Tree, observing.
he is just a visitor. He will leave soon.
Really?
Said another small tree.
Maybe he is only admiring how handsome my father is and how beautiful my mother is.
The little trees giggled with laughter as they continued to play and tease each other. After a few days, the smallest tree came running and shouting.
Great-grandfather Tree! Great-grandfather Tree! The men came back, and there are so many of them. They are each carrying a long, sharp, silvery object. It is shining at the edge.
What is that?
Will they give that to us?
Will it help make us grow and be wise?
Will it make us taller trees?
Upon seeing the men, Great-grandfather Tree trembled with fear. He immediately called all the trees with a thundering voice.
Everybody, please listen to me. Everybody listen. We are all in great danger. These men will cut all of us down. We will all fall down. We will all be gone.
All the trees in the tree land were frightened and scared.
What are we going to do? How can we hide, Great-Grandfather Tree?
Shouted all the trees.
Listen carefully. Great-Grandfather Tree answered back bravely. I will protect all of you, especially the little trees. I will shield and cover you from all of them. Now, the little trees will run first, followed by the mother and father trees. Everybody run and hide at the back of the highest mountain apple. Go now!
But the little trees were hesitant to leave. Great-Grandfather Tree was very close to their hearts. They could not leave him alone. So they hugged Great-Grandfather Tree tightly.
No, Great-Grandfather Tree, you come with us, please, please, come with us. We will never leave you. We can't leave you like this.
The little trees said, tears flowing from their eyes. Great-Grandfather Tree looked at them with sadness in his eyes.
No, my dear little trees, I have to protect all the trees from harm. As you hear me fall to the ground, remember me by keeping the courage and hope alive in your hearts.
He slowly touched the tears of a small tree and said,
I will do this so that you can live forever. Through these tears of pain and sorrow, you will remember me. Please go now. Please hurry.
So the little trees left with heavy hearts. All the trees ran while Great-Grandfather Tree shielded the door of the tree land. Suddenly, they heard the strong shouts of men.
Let us start by cutting down this biggest tree to get inside treeland.
Slowly, 30 men began to chop the trunk of Great-Grandfather Tree. All of Treeland heard the loud cry of Great-Grandfather Tree. He cried from dawn till dusk.
Ah, how painful it is.
Upon hearing the voice of Great-Grandfather Tree in pain, all the trees wept. They felt the agony of Great-Grandfather Tree, but they could not do anything to help him. Until one day, they heard a big thud like the sound of thunder. The birds shivered and trembled. Something very heavy fell to the ground. The town shook as if rocked by an earthquake. The trees quivered and felt very sad. They knew that the men had taken their Great-Grandfather Tree. Every day, the trees wept. Everybody was very unhappy that they lost Great-Grandfather Tree. From that day onwards, the trees could neither play nor laugh anymore. They became very sad. They were always silently crying while remembering the kindness of Great-Grandfather Tree. To this day, weeping trees in the province of Cotabato can be seen everywhere. The words of Great-Grandfather Tree came true. He will always be remembered because of the tears of the trees. The townspeople came to call the trees as rubber trees or goma. So if we happened to pass by this place in Mindanao, we could see that the tears of the trees are flowing extensively from their trunks. These tears are collected by tying a small coconut shell to their trunk. Today, they call these tears latex. This is our story for today, children, and I hope you've learned something from the crying trees. Before we totally end, let us have a mind exercises to see if you listened and understood our story. Number 1 question. What is the title of the story? Letter A, The Legend of the Treeland. Letter B, The Crying Trees. Okay, very good. The Crying Trees. Who is the main character in our story? Letter A, Great-Grandfather Tree. Letter B, Mother Tree. You're right. Great-Grandfather Tree. Number 3, what kind of tree is being mentioned in the story? Letter A, rubber tree. Letter B, the Nara tree. Good job, children! Through this story, we learned that each of us has a responsibility to others, and if we try to do our best to fulfill that responsibility, then it could make a great difference. I hope you enjoy listening. Thank you!